So I'm here with William from Norway, who has built a startup on Lovable called Daymaker. Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself and what Daymaker does.
So Daymaker is probably the most simple software solution there is in HR. We deliver cake automatically every time employees have a birthday. I'm from Norway, but I don't think I would be seated here in SF right now if it wasn't for Lovable. It's been crazy. We started with just an idea and now we're at $150,000 in ARR. So it's 5 months ago.
Pretty crazy. And wait, how old are you?
I just turned 20. So.
Okay, so when did you get into basically entrepreneurship? What did you do before this?
I've been working in sales my whole life. I'm super commercial. Worked in sales since I was 12 years old. But I guess my entrepreneurial journey started a year ago. Actually, what I did was I went on the Norwegian list of newly registered companies, and I found companies that didn't have a website yet, plumbers, electricians, etc. And I actually cold called them while I was in Lovable, and I vibe coded websites and then sold them. So I just did that for a couple of months and made $60,000, which I then put into this.
Wait, so did you say you vibe coded the websites, or like I'm building the websites or coding them, or did you say like vibe coding?
I tried to be pretty honest on the fact that I was using AI, because I would call them and make it the website in the call. And people really love that, right? Because like, okay, you can sit on a phone call with a stranger and he's like actually making your website as you're speaking. So it was definitely like prototypes I made in the phone calls, but it would take me like 20 minutes after hanging up to like finish the website.
And you made $60,000 in a couple of months doing that.
Yes.
So you didn't, so I assume you haven't done college then, and you kind of went straight into sales?
I did 1 day of law school before I decided to go all in on cakes.
How did you get into cakes?
We were at a conference where there was like a contest of booking meetings, and so somebody had done this before. They just made like a scrappy version of what Daymaker is today, and that day I booked 17 meetings with people who wanted cake. I booked a meeting with KPMG that day, so I was like, holy shit, okay, people really want cake. It was summer had just begun, and I was like, okay, let me see what I can build. We quickly figured out, okay, this is something we're gonna go all in on. And so me and Simon, we would sit during the summer vacation and just call people and say, hey, do you want cake? They were like in the Bahamas sipping on Aperol Spritz, and we were booking meetings with them. So
okay, so is that the team, you and Simon, or do you guys have more people now?
We're 3.5. We're it's me and Simon, and then we have Abir, who's our now CTO, and then we have Tony, which is Simon's cousin, just holding up the Norwegian base while we're here in SF.
And is Simon technical?
No, I would say I've become technical at this point because I was like sitting and coding at the night, and we were selling at the day. So for the first 3 months, that was just like I started in Lovable and moved over to Cursor, and yeah, it was really cool.
You basically, okay, so you went to this conference and you noticed that people are really interested in getting cakes, basically, because people have birthdays at companies, and companies want to be nice to their employees, I guess. So
people buy cakes anyway, right? So we just eliminate the time you have to spend remembering them, organizing it, and God forbid not forgetting it, right?
How far in the building process did you get with Lovable before?
We got far enough to get angel investors on board, to have our first 50 customers. So Lovable was working fine, but we figured, okay, if we want this to be big, then of course we have to actually do something in Cursor. So, and this is a couple of months ago. Obviously, Lovable might be at a place where this works now. But yeah, we got really far. We wouldn't have been here today if I hadn't started playing around in Lovable. So it's really cool.
What's like the ticket size? Like if you sell a client, how much? Yeah, how do you charge?
We have these really big names and customers, but they don't necessarily pay us a lot more than our middle-based customers. So our ISCP has been 15 to 40 employees so far, because that's like the range where you can still reasonably say, okay, let's have 35 cakes a year before it like gets too much. But yeah, if you buy 30 cakes a year and one cake costs $80, then We have a pretty good margin on that.
How do you handle the logistics of it? Like, do you have partnerships with different bakeries?
Yeah. So we started with just a baker in Oslo who covered the whole Oslo area. He would make the cakes and deliver them and pretty much do all the heavy lifting. But now we're starting to make like a network of bakeries so that, like in Lovable's case, you have workers in Australia, you have workers in Stockholm and London. We want to be able to have a network so that you have curated partners wherever you go, that can give you the same good feeling of a good cake, and it's not like some generic thing you just shipped on a plane. So now we actually 3 days ago we landed a partnership here in the Bay Area of San Francisco. So Palo Alto, San Francisco, San Jose, it's all covered. Hopefully soon, in a couple of hours, we'll be able to say we've signed Florida and Las Vegas as well. So yeah, that's our plan.
Let's go. And so how much money have you raised?
Oh, it's just been a really small angel round, so $100,000 on a $3 million safe valuation. We're the most untraditional company in this incubator or accelerator or whatever you want to call it. And the funny thing is that something we just made in Lovable has become VC backable because we're here, right? People are taking a bet on us. So it's really cool.
Does it have integrations with like humans or like HR tools?
Yeah, so we have 60 HR integrations now and 7 accounting system integrations, which is like kind of what powers us, right? Because you can just press a button and all your employees are uploaded. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I think I haven't tried without a beer, but I built the whole back end, the tables, everything that made the cakes flow, right? We sold 200 cakes on our Lovable built platform, and we could have continued doing that. It's just that we wanted to scale and be in the whole world. We wanted to make things even more serious, and it's great. Lovable powered us to do that, right?
And what's the main way you guys acquire customers now?
In Norway, we were just cold calling. That's like my strength, right? That's where I come from. So in the 5 months we've been running in Norway, we booked 400 plus meetings, just cold calling. Here in SF, we're starting to figure out ads. We're launching LinkedIn ads and in-mails, and we're doing cold email. So really just trying to figure out what we want to do over here is we want to be able to show investors that we can have this scale of partners everywhere in every city. Shows that we're scalable, right? And then at the same time, find a customer acquisition cost that lets us say, okay, if you give us this money, we can acquire all these customers and it's going to generate all this money.
Is the future vision used being an all-encompassing like HR tool, or how do you think about the future?
We have a lot of customers asking us for more products, and I think that proves where this can go, because like people are asking for fruit baskets, they're asking for Christmas gifts, they're asking for all kinds of stuff. So I think for us, the moat is going to be creating actual experiences of curated partners, like I said, instead of just spray and pray and do the simplest solution, which is to integrate with a scrappy marketplace. So I view the cake as a Trojan horse. I think once I've delivered you a cake and you see that it's good and you see that we deliver on time, if I 2 years down the line say, hey, we have this other thing, you're going to trust me, right? So I just want to be hyper focused on cake for right now. I want to be the biggest provider of cake in the US. And
do you have any advice for people? Because I feel like you must be very good at sales. And I think maybe a lot of the viewers out there, sales is a skill maybe that they're lacking. And like now with Lovable, sales might be one of the most important things for like sales and marketing. What was your strategy there?
The main thing is to just be really friendly. And what I mean by that is that when you're calling people, forget about the script. Just talk about the similarities you have with the person. People love talking about themselves. That's like the number one thing people love talking about themselves, right? So as long as you can get someone to talk about themselves and just be overly friendly.
Will you expand the sales team or hire more devs, or what do you think?
No, we're not trying to be a cake company. We're trying to be a tech company. And I think that's also like, if you go into our website and you see how we try to portray ourselves, that's also what we're turning into. Abir isn't sleeping at this point. We definitely need somebody to help him and offload him. There was some sleepless nights in Lovable where the agent didn't want to do what I had to, and I just had to like force it to do whatever I wanted to. The funny thing is, like, I spoke to one of my mentors. His name is Johannes, and he's like a deep tech guy. So the first time I showed him this was 1 month after starting to build it. He was like overly shocked that it was possible to build it. So this is the first prompt. So that's where I started, and then yeah, connected to Supabase immediately and just started to hammer at it. So that's cool. So here you see like all your employees, and then you create a rule. So you can create a rule that says for every single, like we talked about, every 10 years when somebody turns 20, 30, 40, you can just set whatever cake you want to and how many cakes you'd like. Every time there's a cake, you get an email notifying you saying, hey, do you actually want this cake or not? You can go into orders and view all the cakes, edit them, etc. That's pretty much it. And then on the back end, we've linked with so many HR systems. So you can just press this button, find whatever HRIS system you're using. Google Workspace works, for example, and all your employees are connected.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, William. And yeah, it was a super interesting discussion. I think the viewers got inspired and learned a lot.
Thanks for having me.